All right, everybody, welcome back.
There was a question from Harriet. How long do the PowerPoints and recorded webinars stay available?
They will be there as long as our website is up. So
Okay.
hopefully a long time. Welcome back, everyone. We are here for our last session of working with the Techsperts for the 2020 school year. This is the main event with the app extension, Smackdown. So Rachel will be demonstrating some apps, and she has 2 different devices up. She'll talk more about that.
It looks like someone may have accidentally selected a whole block of text, so just be careful if you select that you don't delete. Thank you. There you go.
Yes, please don't delete what's on the Google Doc. That is a live, living, breathing document. So feel free to add to it. Don't take away. I'm Andrea Wallace from the Florida Instructional Materials Center, and Rachel Sesler-Trinkowski is here, and I'll let her talk a little bit more about herself, but most of you have heard all of our spiels.
Yep. So I oversee our technology and vocational services at the Lighthouse for the Blind in Palm Beach. And I also am the AT program coordinator for UMass Boston to help prepare people for CADIS certification eligibility. And I'm certified re-up counselor and a CADIS. And this session is working with the Techsperts virtual conference app extension Smackdown.
All right.
And if someone can copy and paste the Google Doc, just for those who joined a little later so they have access, this Google Doc that I have open in the background, please feel free to go in, don't delete. You could add comments, you could add notes if you want to add notes about any apps. And you could add your own categories if there's a category that we haven't listed. And if there's one on here that's one of your favorites, please share how you use it and how well it works with you, your students, and the accessibility features.
Fantastic. All right, so the opening code for today, oops, wrong window, sorry. Dun, 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 last opening code is collaboration. Opening code is collaboration, and as we've been saying, all of the handouts are on our website, FIMC-VI.org/training/webinars. And for CEUs, just a reminder, you have to complete the CEU survey with the opening and closing codes. The link is at the bottom of the slide and is also at the end of the presentation as well, and I will be sending out via email. Okay, we want this to be as interactive as possible, so please, yes, continue to use the chat box for collaboration, and we're happy to give you microphone rights, so please raise your hand either by pressing the icon in your bottom Zoom toolbar or wherever it is and whatever you're using. And you can also, if you're using a keyboard, you can use Alt-Y to raise your hand and lower your hand.
Okay. And I am sharing, I'm currently connected, just for any of you who've joined after I mentioned it. I'm using Logmein, which is a remote program. I have a version that's Logmein plus mobile, so it's a more expensive version of Logmein Rescue. And I'm able to actually be connected to both my Android, which I have there on my right side, and on the left side, I'm connected to my iPod. So I may pull up apps as we go just to do a quick demo, but I really want to focus on what you all have to say and the apps that you'd like to share with us. We already mentioned that. So with that, we have a short list up. Now don't forget, we have a much longer list in the Google Doc, so we could always go back and refer to that as we go. But some of you may have already heard of most of these apps. I'll just mention them quickly, and then I'm really more interested in getting to your favorites. But OCR apps, and really these are beyond OCR, but two of, I'm gonna minimize Android. That screen is refreshing just so you don't have to see that. It's one of the things, I'm not sure why it does that. I think it has to do probably with the refresh rate on my Android, but it's just keeps splashing up. So I'll bring that up if we need to look at the Android. So Seeing AI is really beyond OCR. We can use it for OCR, but it has different channels for handwriting, for person identification, for short documents, long documents, really so much more. Envision AI is an option that's available on iOS, Android, and there are subscription options for that. Barcode readers, there's so many different options. Scan Life, Digitize are two examples. Color identifiers, I have a few, I think, that I listed in the Google Doc. Color ID is one. Money identifiers, we have Ideal Currency Identifier, which would be for Android, and NANT Mobile, which would be for iOS devices. KNFB Reader, which would be a more advanced, that's the Kurzweil National Federation of the Blind OCR application, and that one's about $99. That's for iOS, Android, Windows. I think they also have a version for Kindle, if I'm not incorrect about that. I'm not certain, but Kindle is just another version of Android. So many GPS, wayfinding, and accessible orientation apps, indoor orientation and wayfinding as well. Ira, Be My Eyes, Be Specular. Those are all personal assistant apps where you're talking to a live human. I've shared a few of the technical resource options where you could contact some of the big brands and manufacturers through these different sources. Be My Eyes and Be Specular are both volunteer-based, where Ira uses paid employees as the human assistants. And then TapTapSee is one of many different object identification apps. Great option if you haven't explored that. Of course, BARD would be the National Talking Book Library app to access their digital books. So if someone has an account through the National Talking Book Library, they would need to have a username and password for BARD in order to use that. And that can not only be used on iOS and Android, but there's a BARD Express application, which is pretty simple to use on Windows. Or of course, you could go right to the website and access it that way on various platforms. And with that, I want to hear from you. Is there any burning that you missed, that I missed, that you would want to mention that aren't on this list, Andrea?
Not anything burning. I want to wait to hear what they have to say, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, Brian Switzer said, VoiceStream Scanner is my favorite OCR app. I think that's on the list. Let me just switch back to the Google Doc. And if there's, VoiceStream Scanner, we have it right here. So there's VoiceStream Reader and Scanner. I have those on the list. Feel free to add any comments if you want to write, just love it, or I use this on my iOS device, my Android, or my students love this app, or works really well with VoiceOver Android, or if there's any specific uses that you use the apps for, please feel free. This is, like Andrea said, it's a live document, so you'll have access to this after the fact.
NANT Money Reader.
NANT Money Reader has been disconnected. You know, I think I put, there's another one that I think it didn't make it to the PowerPoint, but where was it? Where would I have put that on here? There was another Money ID. Yeah, iNote. There was another one. Here's Ideal. Cash Reader. Cash Reader. What was that?
A couple people have said in the chat, iNote.
Yeah, I know, they discontinued it for a while, but I think it might be available now. Cash Reader was another one that I saw for iOS. So yeah, NANT Mobile, unfortunately. There's a lot of changes with apps too. Wendy Olson said iNote. Yes, that would be camel case with an E, capital E, capital N. Is iNote on here? I will go ahead and add that to this list. So Cash Reader, Ideal Currency would be for Android, and iNote, I believe that's iOS only. And let's see. Launch iNote. Yeah, so I have iNote there. Unfortunately, I have no cash, but basically, you're going to see my messy desk. If I had cash, I would just hold it up under, but I am all out of cash. I have cash in the other room. Basically, you're seeing my keyboard there, but it would just identify $1, $2. Very simple, not a lot to it. You really don't have to have much training to learn to use it. And if you don't have VoiceOver on, it will just announce anyway. Braille to practice UEB, is that on the list? Yes, Braille. Now I have that it's for Android. Mary, do you use Braille on Android, or is it also available on iOS? Braille Tutor. And if you know that it's iOS, Android, or both, yeah. So Braille I have for Android. Braille Tutor, is that one for Android or iOS or both? Android, okay. And some of these may be available for both. Sometimes if you look it up, if there's a similar app. So Lisa McGarity, well, let's see. I'm not sure if I have that one on here. Launch Braille Tutor. Yeah, it's saying, so on my Android, on my iPhone, it's saying I don't see that, that app. Beginning Braille students, Braille Tutor on iPad, okay. And sometimes you may have to go to the App Store to search for it if you're not sure of the manufacturer. Looks like someone's editing. Feel free to add these right to the doc too. Braille screen input feature built into iOS. Yes, Wendy, that's an awesome feature. You're able to use Braille input right from the touch screen. Also handwriting. That's not an app, but handwriting you could use, as long as handwriting is added in the rotor, you could just use the rotor, turn to handwriting. I'll turn on VoiceOver here so you can see that. This is a new iPod, so hopefully I've added it.
Words, speaking rate, language, container, headings, action, character, words, speaking, language, containers.
I don't have it on this one. So I would just have to go under settings.
And I think you have to be in a place where you can enter information
Yeah.
in for handwriting to come up.
Thank you. Launch notes. Yeah, that's a good point, Andrea. Let's see if it's in there.
Note. Hi there. Note. Words. Lines. Speak. Word container. Headings. Typing. Edit. Misspelled word. Character. Words. Lines. Speaking.
Yeah, I have my old iPod. I just got this iPod, so I haven't had it set up completely. If I were on the other one, I'm not going to do it now. But
if I were on the other one, space.
Oh.
If I were on the other
well, you know, I started dictating by accident. So basically, I would just use the, once it's in there under settings, accessibility, it's under VoiceOver settings, rotor, and then just make sure that handwriting's checked, and then you could just flip to it. It's an excellent feature.
There, since people are talking about Braille apps, I think there are some really great apps out there that aren't widely advertised. There's Exploring Braille with Madeline and Ruff, which is an accessible iOS app, and you can hook up a Braille display to that, and that's for young emerging Braille readers. There's also the Eyebrow Challenge App, and if Michaela Tavaliri, if you are on here, please, I'd love for you to share your experiences with the Eyebrow Challenge App, or any of the teachers on here who have used it. There's also the Reading and Writing Adventure Time apps.
Are you going to add those?
I certainly will, yes. Okay.
Yeah, and Jeannie shared Script Talk. Yes, you would have to make sure that your pharmacy also is using Script Talk in order to use that service. And if anyone wants to verbally share and we could unmute your microphone, just make sure you do Alt-Y.
I see Angela mentioned a little while back Ira Vision Sim. It's a vision simulator app, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, please add some of these to the list. I see a number of you are logged in. Talking Typer, yes, I have that one here on my iPod. Talking Typer.
Talking Typer.
And that one's
Double
at
tap to
$4.99, so very inexpensive. I don't have a Braille
Double
keyboard
tap.
connected. That's really where it doesn't really make sense to use it without a Bluetooth keyboard. But with that, you could go through. It is a little different than Talking Typer on Windows, but you could go through lessons, and it works very well with VoiceOver.
And
Voice memo, yes, great option.
I was going to say, and don't forget, if you're a Florida teacher, you can order Talking Typer on quota for iOS. Kathleen, let me get the link for you. 1 second. Here you go. Here's the link to the Google Doc, so you can add, edit away. Michaela, are you on here? I'm looking for you. Ah. Yeah, using voice memos is a good idea. Wendy.
Yeah, and don't forget about the built-in apps and accessibility features. You know, even though they might not necessarily be add-ons, there's so many features in there that can be useful for you and your students.
Yes, Wendy, UDescribe. I'm so glad you brought that up. I love UDescribe. This is a great app out there. So it takes existing YouTube videos, and you can have them, people can request specific YouTube videos to be described, and then they're put on this UDescribe app so people can access them with descriptions, and that's pretty awesome. I really like it, but it is kind of like a crowdsourcing, so it's just anybody, volunteers are adding the descriptions.
And you could also go to the website on really any device too, and you could request something to be described, or you could add your own audio description. I think you said that, but I agree. I love that one.
Is Access Note, is that still working? The one from AFB, wasn't that an app from AFB, a note-taking app? Is that still around?
Which one?
AFB Access Note?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was from AFB. We could look it up. Yeah, some people are going to panelists. Please make sure, unless you want it just to the panelists, that you changed in the to box to all panelists and attendees. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, please add a category for CVI apps, Norma. Great idea. The list, even though, you know, it's, I don't know how many pages it is now, but please keep adding. We didn't want to put so many, I mean, we could keep going on this forever and ever. So please use this. And I hope that you also refer back to it. Built-in for mobility, where am I? And Compass, absolutely. Yeah, don't forget those built-in features. And also with the voice assistant, you could just say that magic wake up word, and then what can I say? You could do that pretty much across the board with all of the voice assistants. Tori, thank you. She said Access Note is from AFB.
And Christy mentioned TapTapC and now Blind Square.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like several of you are editing, hopefully adding.
Yay.
I heard a chirp. I didn't get dropped. You could still hear me.
Yeah, I heard a chirp too. It made me scared. It's like, oh. Blindfold games for iOS, fun way to teach kiddos gestures. Yes, and there's some other apps out there from Valleyland that reinforce gestures.
I think I have those on there, but again, if you have any comments or if there's any blindfold games that you particularly like, please add some notes to that. Yeah, the UIZ is intentionally missing a Q. It's not misspelled. Yes, thank you for adding UDescribe. CVI apps, great.
Yay.
Kangaroo.
Anonymous kangaroo.
Mango Languages is very accessible. I am curious, Wendy, can you share? Can we unmute her so she could tell us what that is? Christy shared Dice World. Please add that to the list too.
All right, Wendy, I'm coming for you.
It looks like APH has a new app called Typer.
Typer.
Okay. Is that talking typer or is that different? You doodle. Yes.
All right, Wendy. Ooh, where'd you go?
WhatsApp. Great suggestion, Diane.
I'm unmuting you, Wendy.
I know some of you are typing in the chat, but if you don't mind, please be sure either you add it now or at some point. Megan said it's different. Okay, so there might be another typer app from APH. Go ahead.
Hi.
All right. Oh, Mango's Languages. I've had a lot of Spanish-speaking adults that need to learn English, and when they get decent with their iPhone, it's pretty easy. There's no pictures. It's all audio, and it's free with a library card. And I don't know. There's like 70 languages, and it's a very sequential app. Hundreds. It's like a textbook, basically. Chapters, sessions, everything.
Wow, thank you so much.
Is it self-voicing or accessible with a screen reader?
It's accessible with, I've only tried it with an iPhone. And I think it costs a fair amount of money, but if you have a library card, you get it for free.
Can you please add that to the Google Doc with, in parentheses, free with your library card? That would be awesome. Thank you.
At least it is in Collier County. It's free. So
Yeah, Wendy, I changed the category for translator apps.
Okay.
I added language learning and automated captions. I don't know. I think it might be in there unless you think you want to add a new category.
I think that's good. Sorry, I jumped ahead, I realized. I just taught this class yesterday.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay, and Cheryl Biting, thank you. She said that Typer is a website that you can do the lessons that are similar to Talking Typer. Okay, I haven't, that's the first I'm hearing about that. That's exciting.
Michaela's here. Sorry, she has her hand raised.
Don't forget about Accessibyte, Typeo, and also Typing Club. Michaela?
Michaela, I'm going to give you permission to talk. And you weren't on earlier, but I'd like you to talk about Eyebrow Challenge and any other apps you use for reinforcing Braille literacy on the full Braille display. All right, Michaela.
Okay. Yeah, one of my TVIs said that you had mentioned me, and so I came back in real quick. I've got my ECC going on it too, so that's why I wasn't on. But the iBraille is through the University of Arizona. They did an app last year, and it's really, really good. Well, it was like a pilot, and they listen to different things about different animals, and then they read tactile graphics, and then they answer questions onto the Braille display. And then it records their answers, and it's really cool. They're all multiple choice, and it's all used with either voiceover and with the Braille display.
Oh, what's the name of that one? That's the one with Penny Rosenblum. It's the
yes.
Oh, it's the science one.
So you said it was iBraille, the letter I, and then
yeah, iBraille was the app that you use on your iPad, but then there's a program that goes with it.
Oh,
I did the pilot. I don't know if it's I think it's out there.
Yeah, it is. Hold on one second. I'm gonna find out.
I'm doing something with her. I'm doing another pilot, and she's on there, so I'll ask. I'm doing the Nemesis
Project Inspire.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can ask her.
Super. I'm gonna find that other one. But the Eyebrow Challenge app, you used to use that, I remember, a couple years ago.
Yes, and it's good too. It's very good. It gives you really good feedback, and you use that with the Braille display also.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, well, have fun.
Animal Watch VI, I see that.
That's it. That's what it's called. Animal Watch. Thank you. I couldn't remember. It's excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
I see, yes, thank you, Liz. Animal Watch VI, another good option for games. And I think it was Jakub. Is Tap and See Now? I'm assuming, it looks like that's something that's different from Tap Tap See. I haven't heard of Tap and See Now. Jakub, did you want to share about that one? Feel free if you want to unmute. Let's see, Novel Effect, the pumpkin story from APH is on the app. A lot of books on the app. The app is open when you read the book. It provides sound effects. My students really like it. Thank you, Norma.
Amanda likes
Fireworks
that
is a
one,
good
too.
cause and effect app for CVI. Okay, Sherry, I haven't heard of that one. Oh, we have great option under the CVI app category, and feel free to add another category if there's one, or if you have an app to list and it doesn't seem like it fits, please add your own category.
Typer
Publix,
beta.
yes, Publix, just the shopping apps. I think I have yep, I have Publix on here under grocery shopping, which right now is pretty important. If there's one that you like or your students particularly like that's not on that list, please feel free to add it.
Thanks for sharing that Typer online. That looks really interesting. I had not seen that before. So a browser version of like Talking Typer. Very cool.
Is that free?
Yeah,
Okay.
looks like it. Very cool. Thank you, Karen. Amanda Long says yes to novel, Norma. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, someone asked, they have an Android, is it available? Sometimes if you do a search for an app, if it's not available, often that the App Store, the Play Store will give you some similar apps. You could also do searches on AppleVis is great for, it's AppleVis.com. I'll bring up that website here. It's a great site for anything accessible Apple. You could look up categories and you could do searches, read reviews. Really great reference. I'll put that in the, I'll just post that in the chat. There is an AppleVis app as well.
Voiceover Starter, that's another app to help you learn voiceover gestures. Yep,
Yes.
absolutely. Do not like that beeping coming from your computer.
Handwriting without tears. Sherry, that sounds good. Do you know if that works with VoiceOver?
Did they create an app for that, Sherry?
What's it called? Do It Right is if you're learning to use handwriting with VoiceOver and the handwriting gestures, the app is called Do It Right, DOITWRITE. I think it's still available. Let's see. Look.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the app for Do It Right. I think there is I believe it was about $5. I'm not sure if there's a small fee for it now, but that's great to learn how to use the handwriting gestures with VoiceOver.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know about that one. Yes, it includes the wet dry part of handwriting without tears. Don't know. Where'd it go? Don't know if it works with VoiceOver, but if student knew, I wouldn't use the app. That's cool though that's an app now. That's really useful for teachers in general. Good to know. Thank you, Sherry. Excellent. Handwriting Wizard on iOS from Tori. She uses it with a stylus to work on tracing skills for letters, numbers, and words. Oh, and you can also teach positional skills, up, down, left, right.
I've seen a couple people mention Epic. I think Amanda Long mentioned that, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe a reading app.
Amanda, I'm going to give you a voice. I can see the look on your face now. Know it. Amanda used to be my my office mate. Let's see. I'm trying to unmute you, so
Did that work?
yeah. So go ahead and share about Epic. What is that?
Oh, how exciting. It's an app I have on my iPad. I think Kelly pushed it out to us. I know that my classroom teachers use it and haven't had a whole lot of experience with it. I know you can have a library of stories. There's dozens and dozens, hundreds of books available. And there's a read to me feature. So, and it kind of highlights the words too, kind of like what a reading app would do, like Voice Stream. So, but it's a little more elementary looking. So just another reading app.
Super.
And the
Thank you
app
so
is available. Yeah, the app is available on iPad, and I was gonna write on there. Hold on one second. I was gonna write on there the website so you could access it. and
super.
add it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yay, Diane. Got your new headset.
All right. I love Dolphin Easy Reader, Teresa. Yes, that's a good one.
Yakub, Yakub asked if anyone uses eSight electronic eyewear. What I would suggest is looking, there's many different options out there for similar devices, and you might want to contact one of your local vendors who ideally represents various manufacturers. So if you have students who would benefit from that, they could explore different options. And also I would recommend a low vision evaluation to hopefully with a low vision specialist who's familiar with more than one option so that the student can be assessed.
Kimberly, the app that teaches voiceover commands, I think is what you're referring to. And there's Ballyland. There was the Do It Right one, which teaches the handwriting feature. There's Voiceover Starter. There's another one I think that's called VO Labs.
Yeah, Objective Ed also has some options. You may want to reach out to them. I know they're making some of their their products accessible. I think you have to go through your district though. Yes, Ballyland. Great news about handwriting with tears. Yeah. Dolphin Easy Reader. Yes, is that one on here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Are the voiceover command apps on the Google Doc. Hopefully people are adding things as we're talking, things we haven't heard about, things that aren't there.
Yeah, so the Google Doc is not for a list of commands. This is for a list of accessible apps.
I think she meant the command apps, like the apps that teach the commands,
yes,
like
yes.
Ballyland.
Yeah. Yeah, and feel free to keep adding to that.
And two, I'll be sending this Google Doc out, but also we do, our Canvas site also has a lot of information to some apps, things like that. So between this and that and Applevis, you have a lot of good accessible apps at your fingertips. Flashlight, yes, it's built in.
Just built-in features, right? Any smart device, well, most smart devices have built-in flashlights. And also, you know, even using a camera, you could use some of the magnifier apps or on iOS, the magnifier, but even just using the camera with a light sometimes will work for some students just to really quickly magnify. Yes.
Unidescription, the National Park Service created an app to audio describe the world. That's really cool. National park brochures are described. That's really neat. Do a virtual field trip. Magnifiers built in. Yes, Carrie. Easy Reader syncs between devices, which students appreciate. Yes, that's a very nice feature. Thank you, Joy.
And if anyone wants to share something out loud, just do Alt-Y and we could unmute you.
And Kay shares. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that.
Alyssa asked, does anyone know of a good app to practice abacus skills for a student with no vision? Any TVIs have any suggestions?
I would say use an abacus. I don't know if there's an abacus app.
Well, I'm going to look it up. Oh,
Your
listening.
dictation.
You know, I'm not dictating that. Oh, I see why it's doing that. This is a very I literally just got this
Elisa too. I think,
Abacus app. Sorry.
no, it's okay. Elisa too, you can order, if you're having trouble getting an abacus shipped to your student, go ahead and order one through APH and we'll get it out to them. Yeah, it looks like there's a few abacus apps. It's just if they're accessible is the question.
Yeah, that would definitely be the question. It looks like they're kind of graphical, so that's not necessarily a good sign. You know, another thing you could do is go to Apple-Vis and just type abacus. For Android, there's a few websites you could explore. There's nothing that's quite as great as Apple-Vis for Android, but there are some websites available. Not really seeing anything that is looking like they've reported as accessible for learning abacus. Google's reportedly working on live captions for Duo video calls. Not sure if available yet. Automated captions are available in Hangouts Meet. So if you're on Hangouts Meet, you can turn on captions. It automatically starts captioning. It is automated, so it is machine learning. The more people use it, the better it gets.
Amanda Long said, you abacus?
Amanda, did you want to share about that one?
I don't think she's used it yet. Should I
It
try to see if
looks
it's
like that app was developed by Penny Rosenblum, so that's promising.
You abacus?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Is it Android?
It's available for, according to Past Literacy, it's for iPads.
Oh, okay. So that's why it's not coming up on my iPod. Yeah, some devices, some apps are optimized for iPad, and some, even if it's iPad or iPhone, you might be able to use on different devices.
Okay, so Elisa, that might be a good one. And if it's created by Penny Rosenblum, to me, I think it would probably be accessible.
Yeah, and just there's a little bit of conversation about auto captions. Just know, well, I guess live it's different. You know, if you have something using auto captions, it doesn't really replace live captioner. We do have a live captioner on, you know, so it doesn't replace the need for a translator, especially if you have students speaking different languages. But there are a lot of options. Microsoft Translator is a great option for automated captions. There are privacy issues with using something like that, but there's Streamer, Stream Text, and a number of other options too.
And just to go back on that, it definitely does not replace a live captioner. We trialed so many different auto captioning services for this particular webinar series, and we ended up just going with a live captioner because of the quality control.
Looking at the chat, it looks like Wendy mentioned Unix Free Converter and Draw to Measure Protractor.
Those are APH apps, so yes. And I can't remember, I can look real quick to see, I have them pulled up here. I think they're free. I think Draw to Measure is free.
I don't think we have a math category yet on here. Let's add one.
Yeah,
Because I think there's also, isn't it, Practice to Master Fractions or something like that from APH?
Slapstick Math. Practice number 2 fractions. Practice 2 master fractions, sorry. Slapstack Math, not slapstick, sorry.
Slapstick.
Slapstick. Slapstick
Um,
math. It's funny. No, sorry. They
Oh, that's why it's doing
have
it. It's marking it as a heading here. What was the other one? It's just spell it SLAPSTICK.
slapstack, like
Stack.
stacking.
Okay. Math. Are those all iOS?
Practice to master fractions is iOS. Slapstack math is iOS. Yes.
So, okay. And those are all APH?
Yes, and Math Robot as well.
Oh, yes. Math Robot. That's a great one. Oh, thank you for adding that. Looks like someone was adding Math Robot. Please go ahead. I move in my cursor out of your way.
Sorry, anonymous shrew.
Yes, Harriet said, love Math Robot. I agree.
And then there's just some fun APH apps like the Braille badges. So they're like those little stickers you can put in chat messages, Braille badges. They also have that new Flip Over Faces app for students with low vision.
Carrie asked if before this is sent out to everyone, are we going to add all the apps? You have access to go in and add your own as we go. So I know there's several people that are updating and editing the apps, and this is a live document, so you could go in and add and update information. So if there's something on here that is no longer accessible, please feel free to go in and make that note. I'm not deleting anything you're doing. I'm just making that a little bigger. There you go.
It looks like Christy has her hand raised.
Ooh, I'm coming.
Money, yep, good for coin and bill counting. We have a few money apps on here. If there's another one you really like that's not, please add it. Copy My Data is a good app if a client, let's say Android, are moving to iPhone or vice versa. Where would we put that? Backup maintenance. What's that?
ToxiCalc is a great talking scientific calculator. It works well with VoiceOver and also has contrast features.
Can you say the name of that again, Christy?
ToxiCalc.
Toxi.
ALKSCICALC.
Super. If you could add that to the list, that would be wonderful.
Well, I'm not sure how to do that on my phone.
Oh, okie dokie. I will post the link in the chat box, and we will also send it out in the follow-up email. Super.
Okay.
Thank you, Christy.
So that's ToxiCalc, so accessible. We'll put that under math.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
ToxiCalc.
Was that iOS and Android, or?
I'm going to unmute you, Christy.
As far as I know, it is just iOS.
Okay, we'll put that. And if anyone notices that one's iOS, Android, and we haven't mislabeled, please go in and update that. Word Melody, Janice says Word Melody's app, emerging reading and writing app, fully accessible with VoiceOver and can be accessed using a Braille display. Awesome. I'm gonna copy those. Emerging reading, writing app. What do you think? Should those go under productivity, or do we have a language learning? I think those go more.
You did have one, the one where you put Wendy Olson's, or Wendy was adding hers. What was that called? Translator apps, language learning, and automated captions.
Yeah, I think we'll put those under.
We could do a literacy section.
Yeah, I think that's more literacy.
Yeah. Yes, the Mango languages. Yep, Wendy, that's the one.
Word melodies.
Yes, Jeffrey, I will be sending this out in an email. Janice, thanks so much for sharing about word melodies. I'm excited to check that one out.
Yeah, I'm going to put objective ed under there. Sorry.
Amanda asked, has anyone used the Objective Ed app service yet? So if anybody has, please raise your hand so you can give some feedback. Anybody? I thought Duval County might be using Objective Ed, and there were some others. Sheila, all right, Sheila.
All right, so I have tried so many times to create Braille worksheets, and I have been unsuccessful every single time. The first time I did, if I followed its directions, it worked great, but they weren't the directions that I programmed in. And the last time I tried it, everything showed up on the iPad. Like, you could see that what I created was what the iPad was reading, but it wouldn't move on to the lesson. So I have had zero success. I have tried it so many times. I just about have gone out of my mind trying it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, the support has been very good with them. I'm just wondering if they just have so many people using it that it's just glitching out.
Could be possible.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing.
Yes.
I love watching this list grow. There's so many wonderful apps and ways that we could use these different even the built-in.
All right, Jen. Oh, thank you, Jen. They haven't used Objective Ed yet because they haven't been able to get the app added to their iPads yet, but they hope. It's a Duval over control problem, not an Objective Ed problem. Yeah, I think that happens in a lot of districts where the tablet devices are managed by this overall system, or that infrastructure is not in place to add apps globally. So there can be issues with that, of course. I hear you. Yes, and I think it's I hear you, EWE, like a sheep, you, I think. Yes.
Yes, so Jart is a free application word processor for Windows. You could also use OpenOffice, which is a little more flexible than Jart. I used to use Jart all the time because of some of the add-ons you have to install to access Word doc files. Some of those aren't working as well as they used to. OpenOffice would be another option for free word processing. And if you have JAWS installed, remember HJPad is free and built in right under the JAWS utilities folder, even if it's a JAWS demo. I hear you. So is that, what category would that fall under? Is someone adding that?
Or maybe the I Hear Letter U app is different. Interesting concept. Finding ear-friendly places to communicate and talk. Oh, sorry, I did not read the whole thing. That's what I get for that. So that is a different app. Huh. Very cool.
Karen, did you want to share about that app? We could unmute you. Seems like that would go under orientation.
Thank you, Karen, for sharing. That's awesome. A category for banking apps, I think, would be great, Jeannie.
Yeah, another thing, yeah, I agree. Definitely, if you want to add banking apps, go ahead and put that on there. Then people could start adding some accessible banking apps or money management apps. I see some people, one person added IRA to the maps wayfinding orientation. So absolutely, sometimes, you know, some of these apps, even if they're in one category, you could use them in various ways.
And Terry had shared. Did you talk about that, Rachel? Jart? J-A?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I
sorry.
did. Jart, here, Jart is a free word processor. It's just a very simple word processor. You see, I haven't used it on here in quite a while. It just basically has an old classic menu ribbon, or menu bar, really. It's not even a menu ribbon. I use OpenOffice, which I'm not sure I have installed on this. No, I don't have it installed on here. But OpenOffice would be a free option. Let's see, we'll just do a search. You want to make sure you get the right link. It's Apache OpenOffice. This is the link here. I'll put it in openoffice.org. That would be free, and it should work very well on Windows with screen readers or magnification software.
Wow, it's already,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's already 2:26. Wow, way to go, guys. Woo. That is awesome. You guys have contributed a lot, added a lot. I learned about a lot of new apps.
Yeah, and please don't stop the adding. Keep it going. If you think of something tonight, tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks from now, we'll keep this document live, and so hopefully we could keep it growing. It doesn't have to stop here. This is meant to be a document that we could keep growing as time goes. So hopefully keep referring back. If you come across an app that you want to share, come back and add it on here.
I see Kay has her hand raised. I think she wants to share a very quick message.
Alrighty, Kay, I'm gonna allow you to talk. That's my boss, by the way.
All righty, can you guys hear me? Welcome, I'm so glad that everybody's here. So just a real quick, it's not an app announcement. I wish it was that easy, but it's not. But any of you that order materials or order, especially textbooks from the FIMC site, you'll be glad to know that when you log on the next time, it's gonna look a little differently, and we're working on some upgrades. So they've changed a tremendous amount on the back side. So it's not going to look that much different on the front side right now, but we're working on that. But you will see some new functionality, and you will see that things are going to be a little easier to do. So don't freak out when you go to the website and it looks different. It's us, it's what we're doing, and we'll have notices and everything up there. But just a little things like, you know how you used to, if you wanted to order one book for one kid at one school and one book for another kid at another school, you had to do 2 separate orders. Well, guess what? Now you can put them all in one book bag. So as you're ordering, you can put them in the book bag, and did you lose? Okay, you can put them in the book bag, and then you can get, you can have them shipped to various places from one order. So we're excited about some of the new features and the upgrades. And I just saw your thoughts on returning books since we're locked out of our schools. Please try to get with your principals and figure out how you can get in there to get those books, because we foresee that we may have several students that end up repeating a grade, or that we're not going to be buying a lot of new books, and so we're going to really need those books to be recirculated. So at whatever you need to do, and the other departments are having ways, yes, a lot of schools are reopening briefly to let students return materials. They took home classroom materials too, and so we need to find out a way to get that back in there. Nobody wants the tuba in their house all summer, so they're probably going to find a way to get the tuba home back to the band room. So when the band room's open, then sneak in and grab in there, and especially the Braille books. Large print is not so bad because we have a master for that, and we can rerun that. We're not worried about the large print, but we are worried about the Braille books. So figure out a way to get in there and get those books and send them back. Now, there's also a way you can renew. So if you do have a student that is going to repeat the same grade and they're going to use the same textbooks next year, then by all means, the new system will let you just renew that and you can keep it for another year. And so don't send it back to us for us to send it back to you. That makes
Thank you,
no sense.
Kay.
All right, so that's
Thank
where
you.
we are.
I think we'll just need to schedule another different water cooler meeting like we did the previous week, and I think we should go over our new ordering site.
Gotcha.
So, future, more to come.
Right. I didn't want them to think that it was a scam site or something. It's the real site.
That's good. No, I think that's
Yes.
awesome. Yes, thank you.
Ah.
Super. Yay. All right. So yes, be on the lookout for more information about our ordering site. It is brand new. Any questions? I see Jeannie Salzberg has her hand up. I'm going to give you permission to talk. And then this will be our last live participant.
So Jeannie, you would have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Alrighty. Jeannie, if you have anything else to say, just go ahead and type it in the chat box. Again, thank you everyone so much for coming and joining us for these past 2 days. Rachel, thank you so much for all your time and energy and enthusiasm and getting techie with us.
Thank you. Thanks. I've enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful for everyone. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do the closing code and raffle.
Yes, the magical closing code. Sherry, she's still here, right? Yes, she is. So Sherry, if you want to come on and get that raffle going, and I'll get the closing code.
Okay, I am set. Can you hear me this time?
Yes, sure can.
Yay, I don't know what happened last time, but I'm here. So the list, there were 117 people on the list after I took out our staff and former winners, and I randomized it again. So I have a new list. So I just need 3 numbers between 1 and 117.
Me?
And
okay, I'll do it. Okay, Google. Pick 3 numbers between 1 and 117. Okay. I figured I'd try.
61 is Christy Linares.
Oh,
is Christy
she's
here?
Monroe County. Christy, are you here? Let's see. Nope, she left.
Oh.
Okay.
Next.
Let's say pick again. All right. 17.
Ooh, a lower number. That's good. 17. Caitlin Schleyer.
Is that Kay? Yes, she's here.
Yes.
Caitlin, congratulations.
Oh, yay, Caitlin.
Okay.
All right, here's your next one. 36.
36 is Elizabeth Stevens.
She's here.
Wow.
Yay.
One more?
One more.
Okay, here we go. Well, we're getting low numbers this time.
31. Madison Schmidt.
Madison's here. All right.
Got it.
Elizabeth won. Yay.
Super. Are those some of your UMass students?
Elizabeth works at my lighthouse.
Oh, super. That's great. Yay. Yes, you will be receiving an email from Colleen Mulcahy next week with your list of prizes to choose from. So be on the lookout for that, and she will get your mailing address and we'll get that shipped to you. Again, thank you so much. The closing code, I typed it earlier and I already forgot. I think it was learning. Learning, yes. That's why I make extensive notes for myself. So learning is your closing code. Be on the lookout for that follow-up email this afternoon. Or hey, if you're checking out, if you're heading into your weekend, check it on Monday. It will be there. Thank you again.
Just one last reminder: keep that Google Doc going. I want to see it keep growing.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for your participation and attention. We appreciate you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Have a great